Hello once again, Traditions, and this is again Teacher Anna, your learning partner. Now let's go to our next lesson. So, last week we have learned about state, nation, and globalization. So, we are done with lesson 1, 2, and 3. So, for lesson 1, we learned about the politics and governance or the key concepts. And in lesson 2, we have learned about power and accountability. And then in lesson 3, we have learned about state, nation, and globalization. So, under political ideologies na tayo. So, we are now in lesson number 4. And this is about understanding political ideologies. So, let's go to our learning outcomes. So, at the end of the lesson class, you are expected to define power and discuss government and governance. And you are also going to identify and discuss the relationship between the government and its citizens and discuss the effective exercise of political ideologies by the government. So here you are going to answer, is our government doing a good job? What do you think? So do our public officials uphold the welfare of the people? Or are the actions of our government and its officials good or bad? What is your idea of good governance? So we have different ideals of good governance, class. So maybe some of us would say that President Duterte has a very good governance, or maybe some of us would say the negative. So if you were to change one thing about politics and governance, what would it be? So these are questions that are often asked by citizens whenever they ponder upon the actions and the nature of their government. The ideas that come to mind when addressing these questions form the core of a political ideology that all members of the state have. So we are all members of the state. So we have different, and we also share different views, beliefs, and values with our fellow citizens. And we expect our government to uphold these shared values and beliefs in its policies and government, and this influence their actions, whether they are supportive or critical of the government. Understanding political ideologies, therefore, is an important test for citizens as they seek to understand how government works and how they can better participate in the affairs of the state. So, now let's go to the next one. So let's try to know what is really the political ideology, its rule, and its function. So let's start with ideology first. So when we say ideology, class, it refers to a set of beliefs and ideas that shape an individual's or a group's views, actions, and interactions with the world. So when we say political ideology, is a set of beliefs and ideas that define political activities, policies, and events. A political ideology is comprised or related and supporting ideas that advance a certain idea of what society and government is or what it should be. So kasi dito sa ideology palang daan, mao na ni ang ato ang view, mo na nitong panglangtaw, mo na niya ang ato ang mga action, mo na siya ato ang interaction within the world. So mo na siya to ang ginatuuhan nga tama, some or almost all of us, mo na to ang ginatuuhan nga tama, mo na siya ang mga ideals sa nindot nga politics or politika or sa nindot na Pilipinas. So that is ideology. So katong mga perceptions nato nga maayo sa katilingban. So, or sa ato ang bansa, that is ideology. So, here in the political ideology, so it looks like we have a certain set of beliefs and ideas. Natay set of beliefs and ideas na nga kung unsa ang political activities. Like for example, if they come up with a lot of projects, mingon ta kung gikurap ang uban, kwarta. When kung ang kwan pod government wala kayo projects, mingon ta dili siya maayo nga government, or they don't have a good governance kay wala na utilize maayo our resources. So we have different beliefs and ideas in political activities, but I hope we do have a very good ideals na jud dapat ang ato ang mga projects and ideals would be good for a lot of people. So dili lang sa mga dato but also for all, or good for all. So political ideology is comprised of related and supporting ideas that advance a certain idea of what society and government is and what it should be. So unsa gyud daw ang dapat nga naa sa society, unsa gyud daw ang dapat nga naa sa government. So unsa gyud siya dapat. And that is political ideology. So di ba ato ang ginapangarap nga politika is free from biases, free from corruption, kanang walay mga tao nga masagasaan, walay mga pobre nga masagasaan, dili ang mga pobre is dili makamit og injustices. So just like that. So that is our ideals of what is politics or political ideology nato. So a political ideology is comprised of related and supporting ideas that advance a certain idea. So katong isa ka idea, kung nato siya plano, nato siya na set of ideas nga makanindot jud sa society o sa government, so ato to siyang i-apply. So it would be included as our political ideology. It emphasizes certain values, principles, and ideals which distinguish it from other political ideologies. So example any class is liberalism, which emphasizes individual freedom. Na siya ang ideology sa liberalism. Okay? So it emphasizes individual freedom. So sila, when you are in a liberalism, you have a different freedom or nakakatungod, naka-right to do anything that you want, basta dili lang maka babag or lapas sa balaod. So that is for political ideology nga liberalism. So we also have fascism. So ang fascism kay nag-give or naghahatag sa primary importance to the state over the individual. So ang fascism, so ginauna yun nila ang kalambuan sa state before ang individual. Okay, so that is an example of political ideology. Democracy is also the political ideology and a lot more. So let's go to the next one. So we also have here in political ideology para class, meron ding political culture. So ito na yung mga set of beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors that define political processes and governance. So, muna ni siya. Like, for example, ang mga corrupt daw nga politicians is kanang ang ilang mga project kay tabang daw sa mga foundations like that, pero dito wala dito inaabot sa mga small scales na mga tao. So kuan kay siya, so mao na siya nga kung ina nang may tabo guys sa political culture mingon jud tang kanina set na government is corrupt, so makaingon nataan na. So next is an ideology is considered to have 4 key functions. So now they 4 key functions ang ideology. So first is the first one is it explains how society and politics are organized and how various aspects of politics work. So si ideology na mo na siya ang nag-explain, mo na siya naghahatag og rason ngano daw ang society ug ang politics na organize og pinainana ug naay mga various aspects of politics nga naga-work. So nganong inana, nganong moagi pa sa legislative or nganong gina-check pa sa COA ang mga disbursements of mga projects sa government It is because of our political ideology, which is democracy. For number two, so political democracy then, it evaluates whether a certain political action or program is good or bad. So, dili po na ito mahibalaan kung ang political action ba is naka-anchor ba siya ato nga ideology ug na ba siya maayo nga result or na ba siya bad na result. So, gina-evaluate na siya diri sa ato ang ideology. Okay? So, tungod kay itong perception, di ba? Ano ta, natin freedom? Because we are a democratic country, anong ginabawalan nila ang tao nga magawas? We have our right. We have our freedom. So, nara na tumayabalaan sa tong ideology nga ang ilahang mga political action and program mayon tag, oh, kani dili ni maayo. Kani siya, maayo ni siya. Pero maybe in a certain people, lockdown is very good kasi mapugngan ang pagkuyanap sa COVID-19. But for some people, it is very bad because it's kanang ano na to gi ano sa government ang balaod gi-twist nila. Imbis nga we are free to do a lot of things but we are being freeze and naano ta nakulong ta sa balay. But that is also for our good. But a lot of people are not seeing it as a good way. Next is number three. Okay, for number three, it orients those who subscribe to it to have a sense of identity and direction. So, kani po siya, ay katulo is, ang ideology daw is nag-orient na siya, nagapahibalo. Kung kinsa lang ang pwede mag-subscribe to have a sense of identity and direction. So for example, if we are a democratic country, kanang-kananglan dyan nato paminawon ang buhay sa kadaghanan. So because we are governed by uh, by people. So for number four, it provides a program or a plan of action that will bring about political change. So gigikan po ani nga ideology, makahimo ta og mga programa o mga plano na mag-change ato ang politika. Like for example, nakita nimo nga dili nindot ang balaod sa agrarian reform. Like for example, in the old age or in the past or in the history, a lot of kanang mga dato nga mga kwartahan, they have seen that kanang masago lagi ang farmer kaysa sa mga dato nga mga tagiya sa yuta. So that's why some of the kanang tagiya sa mga yuta kanang gipramisa nila ilang mga magsasaka nga okay, if you work for me for a certain years, then after that I will give you a piece of land nga imuha na pwede nimo masaka. But the problem is nauna og like namatay na ang uban nga mga kuan, asyendero, asyendera niya mga anak na ni Puli. Ang problema mga wala na sila gihatagan. So, that's why na nakaroy agrarian reform, na nakaroy yun na propose na balaod na dapat tanang yuta is or tanang resources sa Pilipinas kung dili man gina naay balay or kanang naay housing, ginahimong housing, ginahimo og agrarian or ginahimong business locations. So, they need or tanan daw resources dapat kwartahan. So, ato siyang nga bill, mo to ilahang plano. But, because of this ideology nga, democracy, they have come up into that plan of action nga kinanglan para mo dato ang Pilipinas wala resources nga masayang, wala mga resources nga magtapon og landera. Dapat sila tanan na ay pulos, nagabayad og tax, ug nanga-produce og wealth para sa country. So, because of that political ideology, they come up with that plan of action. So that's why it is very important to know what is the political ideology you have and even the government and even the country have. So I hope you understand these four considerations or the four key functions of ideology. Now, let's go to the next one. Let's clear this. And let's go to the next one. So let's try to know about the political spectrum. So if you have opened your book in pages 48 to 57, you will see them or you will see there the political spectrum. So unsa pala ang political spectrum? So when we say political spectrum, guys, it consists or it is a graphic representation of political ideologies along a line from left, so gikan diri sa left, paingon sa right. Okay? Gikan sa left, paingon sa right. So, the left side of the line includes those that adhere to liberal and socialist ideologies, while the right side of the line presents that those conform to conservative and fascist ideologies. And then, the center of the line represent moderate or centrist. So, diri sa tunga-tunga, mao ni siya ang what we call moderate or centrist. And then, which balances the ideas from the left and right sides of political spectrum. So that's why nindot po daw ang centrism or kanang ano lang siya ba, moderate lang siya. It is because you are not kanang dili maunlod ang isa ka bansa or isa ka political ideology because tama-tama lang. So let's try to know all of this. So these are the concept or the following is a presentation uh, of the major political ideologies arranged along the political spectrum. So, gimo na siya ang mga political or mao na siya mga major political ideologies. Okay? These are the major political ideologies. It includes anarchism, socialism, social democracy, liberalism, centrism, neoliberalism, conservatism, reactionism, and fascism. So the concept of political spectrum is where we get the popular terms left wing. So tungod ani, that's why na ginatawag na si leftist or si left wing, and si rightist, which is the right wing. So, and then kung in the middle lang kayo or the centrist. So when discussing political views, so we need to understand this, especially if you are going to be, or if you want to be, or if you are planning to be a politicians. So, trace to the French Revolution and the States General, the legislative body of the French government, representatives opposed to the monarchy. So daghan kayo ang mga representatives nga nag-oppose sa monarchy. Yeah. So they are they sat on the left side, okay? They are leftist. So katong mga against, they are what we call leftist or left side. Okay? So while the supporters of the king sat on the right side of the hall. So that's why sa monarchy daw, ina-represent ang mga leftist nga against sa king, ang mga rightist na gasuporta sa king. So, rightist or right-wing ideologies emphasize government power and authority, often at the expense of individual freedom. So, most likely daw, anado sa right or rightist, which include liberalism, social democracy, socialism, and anarchism. So, moto sila ang mga nasa leftist. While ang nasa rightist or right-wing, kani siya nga mga ideology, sometimes, mabuhat nato ni siya or ma-implement nato siya nga power and authority sa government in the expense of individual freedom pod. Mahimo na wala na po'y freedom ang tao. So this include neoliberalism, conservatism, reactionism, and fascism. So, okay man pod sa government guys nga na ay mo oppose. It is because para everything nga himuon sa sa president or sa leader must scrutinize good if it is good or bad. But the bad thing about it is that kung kanang ano na pud kayo murag plano na po nila i-down ang leadership. So, dili na po siya maayo. So, always remember that centrist ideas, meanwhile, combine elements from both the left and right and advocate more moderate policies. So, mo na siyang ginaingon nga meet between the center or meet between the line. So, meaning, dapat i-balance lang nato. So, moderate policies lang. Dili may go ang freedom sa mga tao o dili pod sacrifice ang leadership sa mga sa government. So we have here, when we say left, we have the liberal socialist. Okay, so as you have seen here, maybe we are here in the social democracy. We are here in social democracy. So we are in liberalism, socialism, and then anarchism. So, kani siya dere, mao ni sila ang nag-represent sa left, which is the liberal socialist. So, this one emphasizes on personal liberty and human rights. So, nag-emphasize sila og personal liberty and human rights. Yeah, personal liberty and human rights are very important, pero kung masubraan po, pwede nilang kampatay og tao, bisag kinsay mong gusto pati yun, dili na po siya maayo. Second is government regulation of the market. So when we say government regulation of the market, meaning dapat protektahan sa gobyerno nga dili kayo mubaba o dili kayo musaka ang market, such as like the price of rice or price of basic goods. Government control over essential services and economic activities. So nindot siya kay naga-take control ang government sa mga importante, essential o mga basic nga mga services o economic activities. O dili ka pwede mo mahal kay masuko sa government. Dili pud pwede kaayo nga mo barato kay masuko sa government. And then it envisions an egalitarian society where there is no distinction between people based on economic status or identity. So, nindot siya kay para ani nga political ideology is like tanan pantay-pantay. But in reality, parang hindi din eh. So I hope and pray that maano gid siya nga mabot yun ni siya nato nga like tanan ta pantay-pantay. So we also have number 5, it's 6, limited role for the government, especially with regard to private matters and individual decisions. So kanilang siya kay limited role lang siya. Like gusto pud sa uban or even the government nga limited lang pud unta. Limited lang nga mo-own ang usa ka private individual nga mag-own og negosyo, mag-own og yuta. And then limited lang pud unta, pero ang problema ni is not limited ko daghang ka kwarta, then you may own a lot of businesses, a lot of land. So mo na siya ang problema pud. And then because of libertarian, so you have a freedom. So sixth, for the leftist, it often advocates a political and social change through revolutionary means. So problema ani pag dili magustuhan sa mga tao ang naa sa government. So pwede yun nila i-oust. Pwede nila magrevolusyon sila kay lisa nila ang government, just like that. And then most extreme views advocate the dismantling of the government to be replaced by community-based governance, which is the anarchist. So, ang gusto gid aning mga leftists or the ultimate goal daw nila is to dismantle. Wala na gobyerno o ma-replace na siya sa community-based governance. Okay? So, meaning ang magbaot na kung ang magbuot na or nadyo kalaiyaan isa ka community. The right to own, the right to do what they want, and the right to progress. Like everyone should progress. Mo na siya ang diri sa leftist. But always remember, we need to be equal. So we need to meet. We need to meet again between the line, or we need to meet at the center. So while the political spectrum is a useful tool in evaluating and determining the scope of ideas that are prevalent within a state, other tools have emerged that can help us get a better picture of political ideologies that influence a state and even those of individuals. So we also have, guys, the okay, let's delete. We also have, guys, the Nolan chart and the political compass. So, so these are diagrams that plot political ideologies along two axes. So, ilahang giplot daw si political ideologies along two axes based on political spectrum. So, we have left, right, and the social freedom, which is the authoritarian libertarian. So these diagrams take into consideration the possibility that political ideas from one side of the spectrum may overlap or relate with those from the opposite side, and that citizens and groups may espouse ideas that are influenced in various degrees by both sides of political spectrum. So as you can see here in page 51 of your book, so when we say political compass, so we have here sa upper we have authoritarian, then sa lower we have libertarian. Mura lang gyapon ni siya atong ganina, guys, nga linya, pero gihimo lang siyang x-axis. Okay, that is the political compass. So kinsa ang mga rightist? So katong mga rightist dapat libertarian right. We also have libertarian left. So katong sa economic pod, we have the authoritarian left and the authoritarian right. So always remember, we need to meet between the center. Okay? So we also have Nolan chart here. So from the centrist, we have the libertarian, and then sa right, kay mga una ang mga right wing or the conservative. So dili sila gusto nga kanang daghan kay sila mga kuan ba perceptions, what ifs, daghan kay sila what ifs. So kung ihatagan or padutuon na to tanang tao sa Pilipinas, what if wala na yung trabaho, what if wala na yung nani, wala na yung nana, so just like that. Well, the left wing is liberal, so they really want freedom, pantay-pantay, kalayaan, pantay-pantay, kung dato ang isa, dato tatanan. If we are in the middle, or dapat kung middle ang isa, middle tanan, that is for the liberal. Pero here in the Nolan chart, we need to meet at the center. Okay, so always remember that the major political ideologies and related ideas, so we need to study them one by one so that we need to know, or we can know, what is the best political ideology that we should have. Okay, especially if you are going to be a politician someday, or if you want to be the president someday. So the following are the major political ideologies most prevalent in states throughout the world. So first is liberalism. So unsang liberalism, guys? So kani daw siya nga ideology considers economic and social inequality as undesirable and seeks to establish a society that provides opportunities for growth to all individuals. So mo na siya ang ideology nga nagasik o naay siya'y dili pantay-pantay na economic and social inequality. Uy, meron siya mga biases pala dito. And then, ito din ay nag-provide ng mga opportunities for growth to all individuals. So, when we say this one, so for this one, we have public policy then. So, sa ilaha, sa liberalism, public policy therefore must be oriented toward eliminating discrimination and barriers to growth and development. sometimes din ba ano din tayo, mao pud ni ang mga negative things sa ato kay because we discriminate o kanang dili ta gusto nga mo tubo ang uban, like the crab mentality that we have. So here sa liberalism, they really want to erase that or delete that from their system or from their government. So ang pinaka gusto nila is i-walaon or i-eliminate ang discrimination. Walaon o dapat walay pantay-pantay nga pag mutubo ang isa, mutubo tanan. And then, mulambo ang isa, mulambo tanan. So that is a good thing about liberalism. So all citizens must have access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and social security. So mo ni ang nindot po sa liberalism, it is because tanan na tao, whether dato man ka or pobre, you have, or unsa man imo ang apelyido, you have the uh, access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and social security. Okay? Okay, so always remember too that liberalism upholds the recognition of human rights. So ilahad yung ano dito, uphold nga dapat everyone has its rights. Everyone has its freedoms, such as freedom of speech, they can say whatever they want. Freedom of religion, ano, they can worship or whoever they want. Gender equality, so they can be whoever they want. They can be lesbian, they can be ano, gay, they can be whatever they want. And a secular government. So, tanang kuan, decision making, you need to consult it to the leaders or even to the people para mo come up into a very good decision. That is for liberalism. Now let's go to social democracy. So let's try to know more about social democracy. So unsa pala ang social democracy class? So this ideology seeks to implement socialist reforms in society within the framework of a democratic government and capitalist economy. So social democrats advocate government regulation of the economy, income distribution, and the promotion of social welfare. So, social democracy envisions the establishment of a socialist state through legal, non-violent means. So, ang ideology or ang perception sa political or sa social democracy is para ma-implement ang socialist reform. So, meaning, sabon ang nasa society. Dapat, ang framework niya is democratic government siya. Meaning, kung saan makaayo sa tibuok tao or a lot of people, they need to do it. Sige, just like in, kanang election. Kung kinsa tong butuhan, kinsa tong inyong gipili as a presidente, or kinsa to ato ang gipili as president, kinsa to pinakadaghan og vote, he or she will be the president. So that is for social democracy. Ang kanindot po sa social democracy, guys, because this is a capitalist economy. So anyone abroad nga who wants to put up a business, they can put businesses here in our place, just like here in the Philippines. So they can be kanang mag-business diri. They can also play their markets here. So mo ni siya kay na siya capitalist economy. Pero ang problema ani pag manghawa po sila, luoy pud kayo ang ato ang ekonomiya. Luoy pud kayo ang mga trabahante mawala og trabaho. So daghan kay siya og pros and cons actually. When we have the capitalist economy. So si social democrats pud kaning mga democrats nag-advocate ni sila or gusto ni sila nga ang government mag-regulate sa economy. Dapat i-regulate sa government ang economic status, dapat i-regulate niya ang income distribution, i-regulate niya ang promotion of social welfare, and then ang social democracy pod gusto siya nga legal tanan. So if you want to own something, you need to own it legally, just like a title for a piece of land. So in a non-violent means too. So if na nagpuyo dira, so giskwat ang imong yuta pero imuha ang kanang na sa imuha ang titulo, napod sa imuha nakapangalan ang titulo, pero sila ang nag-ugmad, sila ang nag-farm, sila nagtanom og something. Very nice crops there. So, pwede nimo sila pahawaon in a non-violent way or non-violent means. So, just like for example, bayaran ba nimo ang ilang mga tanom nga humay, mais, kahoy, para dili pud matiway ang ilang hago. Because when you plant something, you need also to uh, do something. Like for example, dapat nindot ang seedlings, dapat ay mo ang ginatubigan pirmi, or butangan nimo og drainage, or and a lot of things. So daghan kay pwede nga i-invest. So that is also kanang dili makayuman kung pawaon lang nimo sila nga dili nimo i-compensate ilahang kahago. That is a non-violent way. Now, let's go to socialism. So when we say socialism, guys, it envisions the establishment of a state characterized by public ownership of resources and the means of production. So production is done not for profit, but to meet basic human needs. So, sa socialism daw, ang state is nag-establish siya public ownership. So, mo ni ang nindot sa socialism pod. Kay ang public, they can own resources and means of production. So, ang sa socialism, ang nindot niya kay ang production or is good for all. Dapat i-meet sa basic need atong nga country before ka mamaligya sa laing nasod. So, production is not done for profit. So, dili siya inabuhat because of profit. So, dili para maka-income ang bansa or maka-income ang sikinsa nga human nga nagagamit ato nga resources. Because tanang resources nila, like for example, ang yuta, ang mga tanom, ang tubig. So, it is not owned by someone. It is owned by public. Okay? So, everyone can use it. And then, there is democratic control over the resources, and the production of goods and services are done in a cooperative manner. So, democratic control siya. So, okay. So, for example, here in a society which is in na siya socialism, okay sa may maayo mong tanom, maayo mang harvest, maayo mag-delegate, maayo alaga sa plants. So, kailangan na ay unity or cooperation in a manner nga kamong tanan mo produce ato nga goods and services na kinahanglan ninyo or inyong basic needs. So the government ensures that all citizens have free access to goods and services. So ang government dapat tanan mo trabaho para tanan mo makakaon. Tanan mo tabang. Tapos tanan pud mo maka-benefit sa katong goods o services. So, si communism, guys, is actually a socialist ideology. So, isa ka example sa socialist or socialism is the communism, guys, that believes that inequality is a result of capitalism and existence of a class system. So, si communism ang good, nagatuo siya nga, mao na ay inequality, mao nang ba na ay bias, dili kanang wala unity, kanang dili matagan ang uban tungod daw sa capitalism. Which is also true kasi kung sino yung lang yun mayaman, sino lang yun merong mga businesses, sila lang yung kanang yung mayaman at saka nagkakaroon ng mga basic needs nila at saka mga wants nila. And then, the existence of class system then. That's why daw nga merong pyramid, like maliit lang yung mayaman, marami yung may hirap. It is because of that existence. So, na siya class system. So, kung slave lang ka, you will be slave for the rest of your life. If you are a royal blood, you will be a royal blood for the rest of your life. So, inani siya, dili siya pantay-pantay. So, which is wrong? Sa communism, gusto nila nga pantay-pantay tibuok tao. Kung naate kaunon, naay bugas tanan. Na ay mag-meet ang isa, mag-meet tanan. So, yun na siya, pantay-pantay. So, in Marxism is a communist ideology pod. So, that believes that capitalist societies are characterized by class conflict. So, para kay Marxism, kung inani daw ang sa society, nakikita siya conflict, na siya struggles between the working class and the capitalist. Kasi mahimo si working class as a slave and the capitalist as their amo or the top of the pyramid, sila yung mga mayayaman. Marxists believe that the working class and the proletariat will lead to a revolution. So kadugayan daw kung inana pirmi, sila lang pirmi dato, sila anya, dagan kay ang mga pobre. Kadugayan mag-revolution na ang tao, nang musukol na ba? So manish ako ang amo ay lami man kay pagkaon niya nga mo adiri portira mang gamaya portira mang ano ha. So in the end daw ang problema sa Marxism or nagatuo sila nga pag inana dili gyud maayo kay mag-end siya og gubot. So naay struggle, naay there would be revolution if that happen, and then pod mag-struggle pod mo nga mabot ninyo inyong goals. Like for example, gusto mo nga mulambo ang ekonomiya. So kung gamay lang ang dato, so dili gid mo lambo ang ekonomiya because gamay lang man pod ang nahi ideas about businesses and gamay lang man pod ang businesses nga matukod na nga lugar. So nindot pod si socialism which under niya si communism and then under po niya si Marxism. Actually, it's also good na dapat walaon jud na nato. It is because it will lead to revolution. That's why gani nga naay revolution diri. Tuod ka wala sila ka sabot or wala sila giganahan sa kanang inana nga status sa government. A lot of kanang mga NPA, mga revolutionists, they really want nga ma-separate ang Mindanao or maybe kanang mahimutang what we call this one, liberal nga nga country. Liberalism ang ilang gusto. So now let's go to communism. So I hope you understand what is socialism. Now let's go to communism. So when we say communism, guys, yes, I have discussed it a while ago na dapat mawala ang capitalism o ang class system. So, si Marxism pod, I have explained this a while ago, under niya, si communism is under siya kay socialism, and then si Marxism is under siya kang communism. So, nindot siya, pero let's try to know what is also their negative sides. So, now let's go to anarchism. So, what is anarchism? So, ana pa jud no? Anarchism. Why? So this is the most extreme of the ideologies of the left, as it advocates the total dismantling and the elimination of the state. For anarchists, the state is undesirable, as it various aspects such as control, political authority, and hierarchy represent everything that is detrimental to freedom and individualism. So sa anarchism, they want total freedom. So, dili sila gusto nga ang state ang mo-control sa ilaha. Dili sila gusto nga ang politics or mga politician na nagakontrol sa ilaha. Dili sila gusto atong hierarchy, meaning na siya class system nga kamay lang ang dato, dagan kayo ang pobre. Dili siya gusto ato. So, anarchism want to have a self-governed communities, meaning sabutan sa tanan kung unsa ang maayo because you are free to choose what you want. Okay? So, anarchism should be or dapat na ay cooperation or na ay cooperative effort and naa po siya mutual respect. So, kasi free ang tanan So dapat jud nga sa anarchism, each individual should have kanang disiplinado tanan, dapat mutabang tanan, and then naapod siya mutual respect. Now let's go to neoliberalism. So this ideology is based on laissez-faire economics, which upholds free markets and trade liberalization. Sa neoliberalism pod, ang nindot niya is mo siya laissez-faire, free market siya, meaning isag unsang imo itinda dito, you can. Mamaninda ka dito nga country, lugod, okay ra. Register nimo imong company nga na maligya og lugod, okay ra kaayo. So, basi yung dili na i-question ba nga, oh, mahalin ba ni diri? Gamit ba kay ni diri? Di man kay ni siya gamit diri. So, nga nung magbaligya mga diri, ana siya. Muna ang nindot sa neoliberalism. So, everyone has the right to free economic. So, meaning you can buy whatever you want and you can sell whatever you want. So, neoliberals believe that economic growth is a key to human progress. So, si neoliberals, nagatuo siya nga kung free ang economic or mutaas ang ekonomiya, naputay human progress. So, meaning, kung taas ang ekonomiya, taas pod ang ato ang ginansya, dako pod ang ato ang progress. And that the government was not intervene in the activities of markets and capitalists. So para sa neoliberalism, dapat dili magapil-apil ang government sa mga activities sa mga negosyo. Like for example, markets, kung gusto nila patasaan ang presyo, then they can because it's free. Kung gusto nila nga mahalo nilang product or cheap nilang mahilang product, they can because it's a free country or laissez-faire, free economic. So this ideology gained popularity during the 1980s and was implemented by the governments of the United Kingdom. So gisunod daw ni siya sa United Kingdom o sa United States. So in particular, the Reagan administration of the United States advocated trickle-down economics, meaning you can buy whatever you want, you can also sell whatever you want. Free market. So this is also a policy that reduced taxes on the wealthy and businesses. So ang trickle down, kuan niya kay kung nagnegosyo ka, gamay lang imong bayaran nga tax. Gamay lang pud ang kanang bayaran nga tax sa mga dato nga tao o sa mga nindot og mga dagko kay nga mga negosyo. So mas daghan nga negosyo, mas daghan nga tax, pero just in a lower amount. Yeah, so it was believed that the policy would result in economic benefits for the rest of the population of the United States. Ang problema po kay kung walay balaod sa kanang drugs, pwede na po ka maligya og drugs because of the neoliberalism. So, next is conservatism. So, sunod sa mga political ideologies class is what we called conservatism. So, what comes in your mind when you hear the word conservatism? Diba, conserve? So, conservatism class is the ideology opposed a strong, stable government and the firm implementation of laws. So, meaning, dapat na ay firm, na ay stable nga government. So, conservatives value continuity of tradition and are more nationalistic, religious, and moralistic in their political views. So, ang conservative, binatanaw niya kung makaigo ba ni sa tradisyon or kanang ipagpatuloy ba nato ang tradisyon kung naani siya nga kanang mga butang or i-upgrade na to ang atong economics, kung musulod ba ni siya nga mga negosyo, magpabilin pa ba atong tradisyon, magpabilin pa ba ang ato ang kanang nationalistic, religious, and moralistic in their political views. So this view upholds the existence of a free market. So with limited intervention from the government, ang sa kanindot sa conservatism is dapat naa siya'y strong and stable nga government. And then, dapat nagasunod jud ang mga firms sa implementation of law. And then, ang ano niya is protektahan jud na niya dapat ang inyong tradisyon, protektahan ang inyong nationalistic, inyong religious, and moralistic na political view. Ang nindot po niya is, napod siya free market. Tapos, always remember when you say free market, you can buy whatever you want, you can sell whatever you want. Pero, naa siya limited intervention from the government. Okay, kung nisubra na ka or na maligyan na kag drugs, bawal na, kaya na sa tong balaod nga bawal na. Ina na siya. So conservatives also prefer a strong military and advocate a strong presence of international affairs. So sa mga conservative manggod, gusto gyud na sila nga naa sila'y strong nga military. So labi na tong mga bansa nga naagi na gani og sakop. So that's why they need to be conservatism. Dapat dili na sila basta-basta masakop og usab. That's why they need to have a strong military. And then advocates a strong presence in international affairs. So, dapat po, napod siya kanang mga kakampi ng mga laing nasod. Sa the United States, conservative thought adheres to the belief in a limited government. So, sa US daw, nag-adhere sila, nagatuo sila nga, dapat limited lang ang government, dapat limited lang ang kakayanan sa government. So in this sense, the government should not interfere. So dapat dili gid sila mag-apil-apil, labot-labot ang government sa individual beliefs. So kani amo ginatuuhan sa tanism, don't ayaw mig hilabti. You can't shut us down. Dili pwede nga i-close ang isa ka religious belief because of the limited lang ang kakayanan sa government. And then decisions of the citizens po. So, that's why nga si President Bush karon, di ba, ito nagwilga, daghan kay nga mga Amerikano about atong kanang sa lockdown. So, they don't want lockdown. Gusto nila exercise silang freedom. So, that's why ni taas og maayo ang number of cases sa America. It is because they want to exercise their freedom. Wala po mabuhat si Bush because that is their freedom. Because government in US is just limited lang ang kakayanan sa government. We also have conservatism is also wary of any change or reform and are generally opposed to socialist ideas. So, si conservatism ang good, kana ganing magtipid ta karon kay basig wala na pagkaon sunod or wala na tay income sunod. Inanam gud ang conservative, meaning kanang daghan kay siya kahadlukan. What if? What if? So that's why si conservatism dili siya gusto og change or reform. So dili siya musugot nga i-change kung unsa na ang mga naandan. Kung sa tong kultura, kung sa tong naandan, dapat mao na to siya. Dili na to siya ma-change. Inana ang conservatism. Next, unya kasagaran ani nga ang mga conservatism is kanang jud siya, dili gid sila gusto og pagbabago. Gina-oppose nila ang mga socialist ideas. Next is reactionism. So when we say reactionism, this ideology is variation of conservatism. So nalang siya gamay nga liga sa conservatism. While conservatism seeks to maintain the status quo, so gusto lang man ni conservatism nga kung sa naandan, kung sa kultura, maulan jud na siya. So reactionism advocates a return to the old ways. So, kwan po siya, medyo ni blend jud og maay sa past si reactionism. So, dapat mubalik ta sa old ways ang gusto ni reactionism. So, reactionaries considers the present state of society as flawed. Daghan siya mga makitaan nga mga anomalya, mga mali sa tuang present nga society. And then nagatan-aw siya sa past na order gid siya og mas better kaysa sa karon. So society therefore should change in a way that traditional practices and previous state policies are revived. So si reactionism, gusto niya nga mabalik sa old ways. So kung sa tong traditional nga naanda nato, dapat maulang gyud to. And then, previous state policies are revived. Dapat katong mga policies sa una, maulang gyud to siya ang dapat sundon. Now, let's have the last one, which is the fascism. So when we say fascism, class, this is a radical right-wing ideology that is based on fierce nationalism and authoritarianism. Fascism advocates a very strong central government with many of the aspects of democratic government, such as the restrictions or even eliminated. So, ang nindot sa fascism is gid siya, fierce nationalism. So, unsay amo alang jud. Kung sa inyo na. So, and then authoritarianism. So, just like, ano, mm, the ideology or the political ideology of North Korea. So, nagyud sila ka ng very strong central government. Kung unsay giingon sa central government, dili na gyud na siya ma-change, mao na gyud na siya. So, with many aspects of democratic government. So, ang problema ani kidaghan kay siya og maigo nga restrictions. So, mga human rights, ma-eliminate na. Wala na'y kalayaan ang mga tao because the government is is a very strong advocate. So, meaning siya jud ang magdesisyon tanan. Fascism emerged as a significant political ideology in Italy. Sa unang panahon daw sa Italy, fascism sila. So, they have very political ideology which is fascism. So although this ideology also influenced the rise of Nazi Party in Germany, the militarism in Japan for fascism, society is in danger. So, ang society daw para sa mga fascist, society daw kay naa siya danger from various threats. So, daghan daw og kanang pwede possibility nga may tabo sila ha. Kanang mao na magbantay ta pirmi, such as invasion, basing sa kupunta, basing na ay war, na rebellion, and very strong government with unlimited power. So that's why gusto yun nila na ay strong government. So, di yun mabali. Dapat kuan jud kaayo, isog. Kanang na paninindigan with unlimited powers. So, ang problema ani kay kung unsang naa sa mga leader, like na sila matripa, na sila magustuhan nga babae, they can get that. Palito nila with their money or maybe with their threats. So, mao na siya kay unlimited man ang power sa ilahang government sa mga dagko nila nga posisyon sa military. The fascist government is centered on the dictatorship. So, mura ni siya pinamarco style ba? Dictatorship. And political opposition and dissent is suppressed. So, tanan mga tao, basin pag-usapay mo hang kwandera, you don't have any say. You don't have freedom. Kung sa giingon sa government, if I am your president or your representative, kung sa giingon ako, dapat mukurog mo, mutuo mo, kung dili, patay mo. Na siya. That is fascism. For fascists, the interest of the state is considered paramount. So, para sa mga fascist or sa leaders of fascism, kung unsa gyud ang makamaayo sa ato ang lugar, makamaayo sa ato ang bansa, or sa ato ang state, mao jud na siya ang main priority. And then individual liberties and interests must give way to the interest of the state. So tungod kay ginaprotektahan man nato atong bansa, dapat dili nato hunaw nato sarili lang. Dapat para sa bansa. Lahat ay para sa bansa. That's why in North Korea, tanang lalaki nila kay moagi jud og military. So now let's go to the next one. Let's erase this one. Okay, ayaw na niya. Okay, let's go to ideology and governance. So, as we have learned a while ago, so ideology is a major influence on the way government organizes itself and conducts its activities. So, para ka sa inyo, unsa ang pinakanindot nga ideology? So, kung sa man imo ang ginatuuhan nga ideas and principles espoused by political ideologies become the basis of state policies and principles. So, because we have democracy, mao na siya ang mag-define sa tong laws and political traditions. So I hope you have learned a lot from the ideology and governance. So we also have populism. So si populism. So emphasizes the interest of the masses. So nindot siya, no? So in every decision that you will make, guys, always remember that you need to think for the interest of the masses. So the view often present the masses as being oppressed by the elites or an oligarchy. So populism daw, so which is also happening in the reality nga kinsa to ang pobre, kinsa to ang kanang nalang sa lower nga portion sa pyramid, ano lang gid siya, or nasa labor group, they are being oppressed. Okay, we are being oppressed by the elite or an oligarchy. Sa tong dato, sa tong mga amo, oppressed kita, like gamay sweldo, grabe og trabaho, inana siya. And then it is the role of the government to limit the privileges of the elite and uplift the condition of the masses. So nindot po ng population or populism, kay dapat unahon na to ang interes sa mga pobre or sa mga masses. And then we need also to limit kung unsa lang ang pwede sa mga dato. Kanang dili pud kanang gahaman na kaayo babasing dagan na kay kag yuta. 100 hectares na imong yuta pero nagaano pagyapon ka og mga yuta niya. Ang kapangit pa jud kay wala pa jud ginaano sa mga dato kanang stock lang ba. Mga resources nga wala na gamit, wala na napagkakitaan, wala gi agrarian, wala gi saka. So gusto lang nila manguha og kanang buy and sell lang og yuta, which is a very bad pangit kay siya nga kanang butang nga mahitabo sa to resources kay daghan man mahimong idle nga resources sa Pilipinas kung inana ang mahitabo daghan kagion nga yuta pero it just wala nimo giugmad, so pangit siya. So now let's go to the lesson. So unsa ka para sa inyo guys, unsa kay pinakanindot nga political ideology? Is it democracy, dictatorship, aristocracy, monarchy, or anarchy? All of us has freedom. So, so ako lang maingon guys, when it comes to political ideology, what is good for a lot of people, na makamaayo, sa tanan, mo na siya ato ang pilion. Dili lang ang ato ang sarili. Not just for the benefits of our self. So, ang pinakanindot jud nga political ideology, dapat na ay respect sa balaod, respect for the law and order, dapat na ay political participation, like all of us can have a political participation. That is a very good political ideology. And dapat ang political ideology is humanitarianism. So meaning, iyang priority is ang kalambuan sa tao. Then political dissent, dapat decent ang ato ang politika, dili bastos, dili kanang mangdaot, dili mo patay, kanang maayo siya. And then protest, like the government will protect and kanang paminawon po nila ba kung unsa ang ginaprotesta sa mga tao, because dili man po siguro kamo reklamo kung wala ka na igo, wala ka ganahi sa kanang plano. So it's also good to hear the other side para makabalot ako unsa ba ang mali, na ba ni siya mali, na ba siya kulang. So that and then the civil disobedience too. So we need also to kanang musunod jud sa balaod, dili na lang hatanang panahon kanang paminawon ka niya, kung di ka paminawon kay exit ano jud nimo nga kani gid siya tama, kani gid ang tama, paminaw sa ko So dili pod, we need to obey the law. Okay? We need to obey our government and obey and respect one another. So thank you so much, guys. I know that we have different political views and ideology, but I hope our main aim is to have a very good nation, a productive nation, and If you want to become a politician someday, then I hope you are a politician with a heart. So thank you so much, and I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today. See you again. So let's go to your assessments. Goodbye, and have a great day. And always remember to make your parents proud. See you again, everyone. Bye.